If 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, and there's a crazy statistic for after 5 years, but 80% within the first 5 years, like, why are we following business models that have been proven to not work, right? So, and I don't know where it came from. Everybody just assumes that that's kind of like the best way to go. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, like what we're doing doesn't work. It obviously does, because there are some that are working. However, there are more efficient ways to structure our pricing models that just make sense, right? And there's a couple problems that are caused because of the way that we charge our customers that don't translate to how we do some things like pay payroll. Okay, payroll is one of our biggest expenses, and so if we just by changing the reason, let me just jump into it. The reason that it's happening, there's a problem between payroll and how we charge our customers is because weeks don't translate into months evenly. Okay, so if we get our calculator out here and we take how many weeks in a year, 52, and then we divide that by how many weeks in a month, your answer is probably 4, right? So that comes out to 13 months. The reason that doesn't work out is because the actual answer to that last question is 4.3 weeks per month in a calendar year. The reason for that is if you've ever had a day job, you know that, and you get paid bi-weekly, you know that there are some months where you get paid a third time, right? And that's because some months have a 5th week that it rolls into, right? So the actual answer is 4.3 weeks in a month per year, per calendar year. So what's happening here is if we take 52 weeks, let's say you pay payroll bi-weekly, okay? So 52 divided by 2, so every 2 weeks you pay payroll. That comes out to 26 payments per year, okay? 26 payments per year. 26, okay? So, and with 26 payments per year, if you divide that, let's take it this way. Let's take 12, there's 12 months in a calendar year. If you get paid twice a month, right? When you're figuring that, if you're saying bi-weekly, you're getting paid twice a month. So times 2, that comes out to, if you're paying twice per month, that comes out to 24 payments per month. Well, that doesn't add up, does it? No. So what's happening here, there's a couple different ways I could take that math. You could do 26 divided by 2-week cycles of payroll, right? Comes out to 13 months. That's a little bit better of a way to explain it. Comes out to 13 months, right? So what's happening is you're paying an entire month of payroll, 2 pay periods, out of pocket. You're charging your customers monthly, so you're charging them 12 times a year, right? Which leaves you an entire month, but you're paying payroll 26 times in a year, which comes out to 13 months. So you're paying an additional month, 2 pay periods of additional payroll out of pocket, okay? Because of that structure. So there's a couple solutions to that. You could instead of bi-weekly, you could pay on the 1st and the 15th, right? That's one solution, and there's a couple. One of the best solutions that I have been taught and have discovered is changing your, instead of charging monthly, you can charge weekly. And this does several different benefits for you and your customers. Let me explain. Okay, so let's do some math here. So let's just say that you charge $150 per month. And for easy math, let's keep this really easy. Oop, not a dollar. 100 members. Let's say you have 100 members and you charge $150 per month. Okay. So this comes out to 150 times 100 is $15,000 a month in revenue. Okay. per month average. Average ticket price is 150. Okay. So let's just say that this is true. Okay, as your example, you can fill in, you do the math for your school with me. Here's we do this. So $150 per month, average ticket price for 100 members comes out to $15,000 per month. Let's take that $150 and let's make it weekly. Okay. So 150, what's 150 divided by how many weeks in a month? 4. When you ask somebody, nobody says 4.3, right? So if you were talking to a customer and explaining this, our current customer and explaining this, you would say 150 divided by 4 weeks in a month comes out to $37.50, which is actually $38. Okay, round it up, $38 per week. Per week. Okay. So instead of charging $150 a month, you're going to charge $38 a week. Now, we know that there are actually 4.3 weeks per month times 38. So just by changing your pricing structure from monthly to weekly, you're actually getting a price increase. Okay? So instead of making $150 a month, you would be making $163 per month through the calendar year. Okay? So that's a significant boost. Like that's $13. Okay, right? 50, yeah. That's $13, right? Times 100 members. That's an additional $1,300 in monthly revenue, right? And then for a calendar year times 12, that's an additional $15,600 just by going from monthly to weekly in this example, right? That's a significant increase. Like if you're the manager, or you have a manager of your school, and you go, okay, you get with your team, you go, okay, I want to what can we do to increase our yearly revenue by $15,000 by not adding in a single new member? Give me 5 ways. Go. Like, there's not too many ways that you can do this. There are different ways you can do that, and we'll get into that in later videos and modules, but that's significant. So that's one example. Now let's say, okay, everybody loves to have the conversation with their customers. Let's draw a line here. Everybody loves to have the conversation of, we have to increase prices. Increase prices. Okay? Everybody loves having that conversation. When you have a weekly model, it is so much easier, and the perception of it is so much better. Okay, so let's keep this example here. And let's say you want to increase your prices from $38 to, let's just say a $3 increase. Let's say a $2 increase, okay, to $40. Let's just say a slow $2 increase, okay. Mr. Customer, we do need to increase your prices from $38 to $40. Are you okay with that? Yeah, I'm okay. It's not a big deal. It's $2. Who cares, right? So what that does is you go from $38. For this example, we have 100 members. From $3,800 per week times 4 per week to 40 times 100, right? For a difference of 3,800, for a difference of $200 per week times 4.3, which is an additional $860 of revenue per month, okay? Which is, if you're doing $150 per member, that's like adding almost 6 new members with a $2 increase, right? To translate that would be like telling your customers, hey, we have to go from, let's see, how do we figure that? So a $2 increase, so $40 a week, so $40 a week times 4.3. That would be going from that would be a price increase. You would have to tell them, okay, you're at $150 a month, and how do I get the arrow? Like that. $150 to $172 to get the same equivalent, right? Which one do you want to explain to your customers? Hey, we need to increase your prices just $2, right? I'm going to take you from $38 a week to $40 a week. Are you okay with that, Mr. Customer? Yeah, absolutely. That's not a big deal. It's $2. Who cares, right? Or, Mr. Customer, we need to increase your prices. Next month, they're going to go from $150 to $172. Are you okay with that, Mr. Customer? That's a completely different It's the same thing, but the perception of it is completely different, right? So when it comes time to increase prices, it's so much easier with a weekly model, okay? Versus the monthly model, okay? And you have, you'll get an additional boost just by the switch, but from switching from monthly to weekly, just from that switch. Now, some of you are hesitant. Plus there's this. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people get paid bi-weekly. Some less people get paid weekly. Even fewer people get paid monthly. Okay, people do, but the majority of people get paid bi-weekly. So, and the fact that most people live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, so what happens is what you'll actually see is a decline in your in cards getting declined. You'll get fewer cards declined per month because people live paycheck to paycheck. If you're charging $150 a month and somebody gets smacked with $150, that's harder on them if they live paycheck to paycheck than getting $38 a week. They're smaller increments, right? So it's easier for people to digest, right, in their finances. That's easier for them to pay in those smaller increments than it is the one lopping sum, okay? So what you'll see is there will be less card declines, which means more retention, which means happier customers, which means more money, more revenue for you. It's good for you. It's good for the customers. Okay? So I'm sure there's other reasons we can get into, but I don't need to. There's a bunch. Okay? So for some people, what we are doing is we're slowly introducing this into our business. So all of our current customers, they're just going to stay where they're at. Okay, they're already happy. They're going to stay where they're at. Okay. New customers are getting introduced to the weekly. Okay. Once my business adjusts, probably in 1 to 2 months, I will then integrate this with our current customers. Okay, so that's when I will switch. If you're worried about, hesitant about, doing a switch with your current customers, you can do the same thing. Just keep them where they're at, and then when you get new customers, bring them in with the new pricing model, right? And then once you get full, then switch all your old customers. Simple, easy. Okay, I guarantee you that a lot of your customers will enjoy the weekly payments versus the monthly payments. Cool. So I hope that you implement this because it's going to help you increase your customer happiness. It's going to help you increase your retention rates, and it's also going to increase your revenue. So it's a win-win all the way around.